Basso. I have something very special that I want to share with you. It's about a special retreat that I have coming up that I'm putting together this fall. It's called Revive and Thrive Self-Nurturing Retreat. It was created to support those women who are going through transitions in their life. There is a way for transition to be much easier, fun, and relaxing. You will certainly be much happier too. Doesn't that sound appealing? It's not only presented by me. I have a fabulous team that I've put together. They were part of my team when I was going through some really big changes in my life recently. They were there for me when I was going through a significant transition in my life, which I'll tell you more about in a moment. These two amazing people are Max Wellspring and Willie Carter. And this is Max. Give us a little wave, Max. And unfortunately, Willie could not be here with us today because her new granddaughter was just born. And we're just so thrilled for her. I've coached with both of these fabulous women and have also taken a fantastic course with Max. Max's focus is helping people to trust their life. Her whole business is branded on this because it is so significant. Willie is a coach and an author who's written a book about how to see your life in terms of synchronicity, how to look for signs, signals, and clues, and how they arise out of life to prove that your life is indeed on your side. We need to be aware of how life is providing you with these signposts for what would most serve you and your life. They are there all the time. We just have to know how to pick up on them. Actually, the work that Willie and Max do are kind of married to each other. They're a perfect unison. I was so fortunate to be able to have both of them working with me at the same time. And lucky you can also get in on this team too. But now I'm going to tell you a bit about why I'm doing this and how we're going to help other women like me make some dramatic changes in their life for the better by confidently being more self-nurturing and by being more aware of all the things that life is helping you with on a regular basis. We all have a different story, and it is very, very different for all of us. So here's my story. 29 years ago, I started my own event planning business. It was a very successful business. I loved doing it. I met so many amazing people. I got to go to some fantastic events. I had the ability to be creative. I traveled. I did a lot of really amazing things with this business. I just loved the work that I was doing. However, I found myself working like crazy. It was too much. And in addition, I was the primary caregiver for my aging mother. Although I was caring for her with all of my heart, it was very, very time consuming. But I never really realized just exactly how much I was doing. It just kind of crept up on me and I was doing more and more and more. I'm sure that some of you can relate to that. When she passed away, I experienced a huge amount of grief. She was a best friend and a wonderful mother. I had never experienced anything like this before. It was really hard. But as we know, life goes on lifing. Obviously, I didn't know when my mother was going to die. And I had several other events booked and ready to produce just after she died. I had to get them done. It took me 6 months to get all of them done. However, I followed my instinct to not take on any more work for a little bit. I just couldn't do anything more. I also knew that the only thing that I must do for my sanity was to just stop everything for 1 month. For me, it was the thing that I needed to do. It was something that I had never done before, taken a whole month off at one time. I did it, but found it wasn't enough. After that month, I felt like I'd just finished a race and still hadn't caught my breath after it. So I decided to take another month off. And then I realized I was spiraling out of control. I had never experienced anything like this in my life before. I also realized that I needed help. I wish I would have thought of it sooner, but I was so clouded I couldn't think straight. That's when I reached out to my dear friends who both started out as my coach, Max Wellspring and Willie Carter, my dream team. They collaborated on how to help me. It was an amazing experience, so enriching and so helpful. One of the results of the work that we did together was how the concept for this retreat was born. That's how impactful all this work was. So much so that I felt compelled to share what I learned with others who are going through similar things as I was. I am so grateful that they both decided to come on this journey with me to provide this unique retreat for you. There's no need for life to be hard. Working all the time and without ongoing real joy and happiness in your life, that's no life. I even didn't think I wanted to be in event planning anymore. But with their guidance, I now know that I do still want to work on events. The joy of working on events is back. However, I choose to do it differently now. I do them when I want to do them, who I want to do them with. It's a completely different experience, and it makes me feel so much better. Max, you were a witness to my journey, and I want to share my experience with these listeners. Hopefully we can help others going through similar things. So let's just chat a little bit about what you saw in me and some of the things that we worked on together to help me through this period of my life. So Max? Can't hear you. Oh.
There we go. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So it's interesting hearing you talk about your story again today, because I'm actually coming up with even deeper insights into what you were going through. One of the good things I think you did was to stop. And this is what happens when any of us in the human experience are faced with a huge life-changing challenge. And also there's this companion realization at the same time that what you'd been doing hadn't any heart and meaning for you.
That's right.
So continuing on doing things as you had wasn't the answer. And yet stopping also created another level of fear until you brought in the second element that I know always works when you're in transition, and that is to get support, trusted support.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, and it doesn't always come from the outside. It's great that you knew myself and Willie, who had some expertise in supporting you in finding your own wisdom. I know that that's my approach to coaching. Actually, I have come to call myself a transformational catalyst. and that's really how I see it, because it's not that I had your answers. It's more to help you through different experiences to trust that inner guidance. We all have our own internal GPS system. Mm-hmm. We have them in our cars. We have them. We came cable ready in the human experience.
It's a great analogy.
To with guidance that is at our fingertips, really, when we get quiet enough, because the quieting down is a way to stop the stories that we tell ourselves that don't serve us. Like you said, I need to make something happen now. I need to work even harder. No pain, no gain kind of stories that we might have gotten from the culture that we live in or our family of origin.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, work ethics are wonderful, but when they drive us beyond the inner resources that we have, we're not productive anymore. Mm-hmm. Nor are we, is our passion for our creative expression being served by that. So your ability to stop like that, all you needed was an infrastructure to be able to find a new vision, really, which is what we were calling you into. And one of the most profound things that happened that really demonstrated this was, at one point I asked you the main question that most coaches ask their clients: what is it that you really, really want? And your answer was, and I hand it back to you, Judy.
Okay.
What was your answer?
I wanted to travel. And then I said to you, but when I've got the time, I haven't got the money. When I got the money, I haven't got the time. And that's, what I keep saying that because that's what keeps happening. And then you pointed out to me, that's what you keep saying. And that's what you keep getting. And it was like a lightning bolt hit me. It was, yes, that's exactly what I was saying. And that's exactly what I was getting. So in that moment, I decided to change my thoughts and to focus on and believe I now have the time, I now have the money and the people that I want to travel with. And I could feel this physical shift in my body in that. And it was like, okay, this is the direction you want to go in. And 6 weeks later, I was sitting in Paris, which was my dream destination. And I remember sitting at the base of the Eiffel Tower and just looking up and just tears coming down my face because it was such a profound thing that had happened to me. So, it really, when you change your mind about how you're going to approach things in life, it really can have huge effects. It really, really does. Yes. So, yes, thank you for that, Max. It was a huge help. And so it was really insightful for me to use that in other areas of my life as well. Because we don't realize we keep this dialogue going in our head about certain things, and it doesn't serve us.
Well, this is actually supported by research. The research shows that we think thousands of thoughts, and I don't know what the number is, but it's high, like a couple of thousand thoughts every day. And the percentage of recycling those thoughts every day is, what would you imagine, Judy?
Oh, probably, I don't know, 30, 40% recycling. No, more?
It's 85 to 90%. We are creatures of habit, and we recycle these things, even if these thoughts are fear-based. We will continue to recycle them until we make a choice mm-hmm. to find a new story. Mm-hmm. And my bias about this is that story hopefully will be aligned with something that really ignites a feeling of complete joy and excitement to do. And, and I can hear people out there going, oh, okay, well, this sounds good, but, we have to put food on the table, that kind of thing. I mean, it's, and the truth is, what I've found, when I have aligned with what excites me, then I am led, and I wish Willie was here, but I've been led with the synchronicities of people coming into my life or opportunities showing up for me to express myself in that way and bring the financial support and even more opportunities to express myself that way.
Well, one of the things that I've found that's really a huge aha for me is having implemented a lot of these new lifestyle changes and habits in my life, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But I find that I have more time in my hands now. I'm making more money and working less. I'm happier. I'm more relaxed. I have more free time. And I never dreamed that in a million years that by slowing down that would be the case. And it's just I'm focusing on what I want to be working on, and they're great projects. And it's just a really interesting thing how it happens that way. So there are ways to make this your life easier, and it's not too hard to do. Yeah.
Right. Well, when you stop the cycle of worry and concern and the fears that keep you from moving forward,
Right.
then there's actual life force that you can pour into what's going on, and you're actually even become more open to the way life wants to support you.
Right.
I know for myself that, and you just mentioned it, that if I have if I've created each day a kind of sacred container for myself where I have practices that really underscore this idea of, yes, life is on my side. Where is the guidance here? And for me, that means taking time in the morning with my cup of tea or my water with lemon in it that I start my day in, and sitting on the porch and just breathing, allowing myself to slow down enough to let the inspiration, the inner inspiration and ideas for how I can best do my day arise. Also, I'm a real proponent of journaling, so that you start to track how your life is going and what your stories are.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to be doing in this retreat is supporting people in really first answering that question, what is it they really, really want? And then creating out of that an intentionality that is aligned with their values.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not envisioning what is best for you, aligned with your values, versus something else that you might have heard from somebody, or again from your culture, that sounds like I should be doing this. We really want to get to the core of what is it that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be supporting people in setting that kind of intention, allowing a bigger story to arise within them, a vision,
A more positive story
that hopefully will be juicy and compelling and fun. Whereas, we want the fun in this. I mean, that was another thing that I can bear witness to your story, is that one of the things you always say is, if it's not fun, I don't want to be doing it. So that actually was your litmus test for yourself.
Yeah.
And again, if we're not listening to ourselves and we're pushing ourselves into doing something that is not aligned with this kind of value, that it has to have joy in it. Mm-hmm. It has to have meaning. It has to have heart. It has to make a difference. I mean, these are the kinds of values that people usually bring to the endeavors.
Right.
And what it is they want to create in their life.
And one of the things that you mentioned, the word should, and that I think that's a word that's comes up in a lot of our lives. And I had an experience where years back, that when I first started to tune in with my inner guidance, one of the things that I heard And there's a whole story, which I'll tell some other time, about how this came through me, which is a wonderful story. But one of the things that I heard was, choose what you want to do with your life, not what's expected of you. And I actually kind of turned around, looked around. I thought it was somebody talking to me. It was that clear, that loud, that profound. And I kind of went, what? And I heard it again. Choose what you want to do with your life, not what's expected of you. And that was life-changing for me. It really, really was. And, you know, I can't explain about how much it affected me. And I've repeated this story to many people over the years. And when you really get that, it really does make a big difference in your life. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that inner dialogue as well. You know, this kind of wording that goes on in our life and in our heads, and we start believing all these different things, and just to get some clarity on what you want to do and what you should be doing. And, you know, I mean, yes, you should be brushing your teeth. Those are things that are important, but you know, sometimes if there's just these shoulds that you're doing just because you think that you should. Anyways, it gets quite complicated, but we want to simplify things for you and make it a little bit easier and clearer, having more clarity on what it is that you do want to do with your life.
Exactly. And again, it's providing this space to get still within yourself. It's in that stillness that the answers arise. Mm-hmm. And here's the reason for that. You and I were talking about this quote just recently, and I think it demonstrates why we have this intentionality to support other people when they're trying to move through a challenge into the kind of clarity that you're talking about, and the kind of inspired action that's so compelling, it pulls them into their greater vision versus trying to push to make that happen. And the quote is this. It's a Marianne Williamson quote. And she said that ego would tell you that when everything falls into place, then you're going to have peace of mind. But the truth is, your spirit is quietly whispering in your ear, find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. And that really is at the heart of why I got so excited when you came up with this idea of the ReTreat. Yeah. And actually doubly excited because I knew you were going to leverage your event magic and make this a very, as you started this whole sharing with, that it was going to be special. And I can assure people, without a doubt, it will be. A Judy Basso event you always come away from it with a sense of that was memorable. And also it's designed to really nurture and pamper people and to help people come away with the mindset, the perspective, the physical and mental renewal to go back into their lives and really apply what they've learned to keep on keeping on that way, in a way that is life enhancing. And
what we're going to be talking about is
with that kind of clarity that you're talking about, because when we're confused, when we're overwhelmed, and that is usually what happens in a life-changing challenge, but we can't see our way. And
that's absolutely true.
And if you're at that point in your life, for those of you who are listening to this, then you might want to consider this opportunity to slow down and have an epiphany. Certainly we've been talking today about how slowing down you can get more done, but really this is about a way to really come away with a vision that carries you forward into something that is practical and productive, effective, and really blesses your life.
And
So
sustainable. Yeah.
I'll get off my soapbox now. And
It's a
what
great
I love
soapbox. I love it.
I would love for you, Judy, to really explain all the these amazing logistics of this retreat and what it is, because I think then that people will understand what you've created for them.
Sure. You know, thank you, Max. That was just so enriching for me to hear that. And there's a lot of different things that have helped me through this process. And one of the things was really listening to that inner guidance, slowing the pace down in my life, getting more things done in less time and still getting them done well. I also started listening to, again, and applying the wisdom of Abraham. For those of you who are not familiar with Abraham, I highly suggest that you read this book. It's a fantastic book called Ask and It Is Given. Learning to Manifest Your Dreams. Sorry, I can't read backwards. By Esther and Jerry Hicks. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. And they also have YouTube brief presentations, 10, 15 minutes long. You can Google them, Hicks Abraham on YouTube. Some great snippets of wisdoms that are offered every single day, and they really are life-changing. You know, there's a lot of other topics, but we'll go over those more in detail over the next little while here. So if what we're talking about today resonates with you, perhaps you may be interested in attending our ReTreat. And you hear us talking about it a little bit differently, how we say the word ReTreat, because it's a capital T that we put in our word retreat, because it will be a treat for you. So if you're willing to support yourself to see how you can easily see the signs, signals, and clues of the larger story that awaits you in terms of making the next transition in your life, then you can join us for this experience. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. So it's called the Revive and Thrive Retreat, Self-Nurturing with Confidence. Max and Willie will be joining me as your hosts. I'm so excited about that. And as mentioned, this will be a special treat for you. It will be my pleasure to put on a memorable special event just for you. I've been known to wow a person or two, and I just love doing it. So I would love to do something fun that can be life-changing for you. Remember, if it's not fun, I don't do it. So it will be a nice, fun event as well. It takes place November 1st through 4th, 2018, in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. We've designated this retreat for a maximum of 10 or 15 women. We want to keep this intimate and special for you. We're keeping it small for a reason, because we want women to feel that this is a very personal, almost customized experience for whatever it is that they're going through, and whatever they need support for. The Revive and Thrive Retreat for Self-Nurturing will take place at the gorgeous Oak Bay Beach Hotel, located right on the Pacific Ocean, at a spot where the orca whales are often swimming by. Who knows, you may even have some whale sightings when you're there. That's always so exciting. There are snow-capped mountains in the distance. There's a fantastic hot spring mineral pool right at the hotel for you to soak in. And of course, fabulous food for you to indulge in. We will ensure that you have personal time, as well as get support from Max, Willie, and myself. You will be cared for and nurtured in a very beautiful way. You won't be there trying to do it alone. Max, is there anything that you wanted to just add about this event that we're going to be doing?
Well, I can't wait to go myself.
I know we're both so excited.
And,
We're all
and,
so excited about it.
and what happens for me is that I'm always, it's interesting you use that word enriched. I'm always enriched by a situation where I'm there to support somebody, but honestly, I get so much back from that. It never fails. I'm very blessed to have had over the years many clients where that phenomena continues to occur. Yes, I'm there to support them, but I learn so much in return. And I know that this is going to be really life enhancing in a way that is where I can relax into it.
Mhm.
That is always what I'm looking for. I know that my lineage pattern is work, 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 hard, 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 make it happen. And life, there was definitely mantras that I heard that had been adopted by people in my family of origin. Life is hard. And honestly, it does not have to be that way. So come and join us if this resonates for you at all, and have a life-changing experience. That's what we're inviting you into, is an experience, and an interactive one, where your wisdom will be honored, and you can literally play your way to a greater sense of awareness and consciousness about where you're moving in your next steps for your life.
Beautiful. So please go to our website for details. It's at judybassoretreats.com. And again, it's November 1st through the 4th in Victoria, BC, Canada. I'm Canadian and proud to be. And the fact that it is in Canada means that this is all going to be in Canadian funds, which means to our American friends that you can probably save 20 to 25% on the exchange rate. Right now it's at 25%. This is certainly something to think about that might make it a little bit more appealing for you to be able to participate with us. We really hope that you feel the pull to come with us and help you move into the next phase of your life with ease and grace. If you're interested, remember that there are only a few precious spots. We don't want you to be disappointed, so please don't wait to register. I want to be a mentor for you. I truly hope to see you there. We will be doing more presentations like this very soon, so please like our page if you want to hear more on the tips on self-nurturing and more information about this retreat. A link to this recording will be on our website, again, judybassoretreats.com. If there are any other topics you'd like to explore, please post them in the comments below. We look forward to interacting with you and finding out more about what you want to find out more about. Again, the site for more information on how to register is Judy Basso, that's spelled B-A-S-S-O, retreats.com. So goodbye for now. Wishing you all a day full of happiness, and thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.